It's a gentle season. Amidst all the hustle and bustle, there's something so much more profound happening. And there's that within us that is so profound, that so easily connects when something outside of us is profound and calls us into that moment. And that music certainly did that. As the song that Shemaine you sang before the prayer, there's so much profoundness in our lives. And some of it is so simple. You know, how many of us have grandchildren? It's so delightful to just give yourself to play as a grandparent. You know, I mean, having been a parent, I didn't enjoy that, giving myself to play quite as much. In fact, the edge of my seat was worn pretty thin with my son, but he made it, and that's what I tell all mothers of rambunctious teenage boys today. It's just like, there is something within him that is so profound and so perfect, and when it's really needed, he will have it, and trust that he will remember, and you can't do it for him anyway, so just give that up, and just go with the flow of faith. And I'll tell you, it saved me to have that place in me that could know that that place existed in him. And now, you know, he's 47, he's a scientist, and he's a beautiful man, you know, and he's like a father, he's a great father, and he's none of those, you know, things that he was. But he's got all of those things in him. That's what's so wonderful. He's got all of that rambunctiousness in him, and he can play with his kids. You know, and he's got that, don't tell me what to do, so he's not bowled over by incorrect authority. So, I mean, it all has its part. You know, you just sometimes, when you're in the midst of it, it's just a little hard to notice sometimes. Perspective and distance is really helpful. Yeah, well, you know what I'm talking about. I love my family, and they're like, you know, sometimes I think if I were a funnier person, I could have been a good comedian because I've got so much material in my family and in my own life, good Lord. I love my life. I truly do. I love my life. And I remember once in a church that I was doing a little support in, I was walking through the lobby one day, and somebody said, "How are you?" I said, "I love my life." And the minister walked by and said, "I want to be able to say that." And you know, I think it comes, well, I came kicking and screaming to it, actually. I didn't come out of a moment of bliss. I didn't. And I didn't come out of a belief in a promise or any ancient tale or any prophecy. I came kicking and screaming, but something profound in me knew when I was around something profound in someone else. I don't know how I got that. My pioneer roots, maybe. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm so grateful. And I'm very grateful to be here. And it took a little bit of doing to get here. I'll tell you, and I'll just tell you a hair of it because it really transformed the way I looked at today's service. So, you know, I tend to pack a little bit. You just ask Pat, she'll tell you. But you can't tell them any secrets. But I do tend to pack a little bit too much, or conventionally speaking, it would seem too much. Selena could comment on that too, probably. But actually, for me, it's just right. I mean, I like having a full, intense, juicy life. I like it. I live in 3 cities, in 2 states, and 2 countries. I'm always on the road, and I'm always in the moment. Not always, but mostly I've learned to be here now. So that when I'm wherever I am, I'm there, and I'm not worrying about all the other things. And how are the animals doing with the house sitters? And how are those grandkids going to do Christmas without Baba? And all of that stuff. I just, practice being here now. And it's such a great practice. So this month is about the living spirit. That's the theme. Awaken to the living spirit. So I'm driving yesterday. I live when I'm not here or in Ukraine, I live in Northern California. And so I was near Sacramento, near Reno yesterday with my good friends. And I got up at 6 and I was on the road at 8. And everything was fine until, about 10 miles north into the Sierras. And it was just pouring cats and dogs. And I went, oh my gosh, a storm. Little did I know how grateful I would have been for that rain just, 8 hours later. As I on that big flat road that feels like it's some architecture from another civilization. That landscape is fascinating to me because it seems like so otherworldly. Maybe, after 25 times I won't be so fascinated, but right now I really am, and it looks very different in the snow and the rain and in the dark. Looks really different in the dark. So anyway, I'm driving along, and shortly before Elko, it starts snowing. And now, even though I grew up in Canada, I never had a license there. And even though I'm in Ukraine, I don't have a car because there's too many holes in the road. It would be too expensive to fix my car. I let other people worry about that. So this is actually my first driving in the snow kind of experience. Oh. But, I like an adventure. You probably figured that out by now. And I like challenges. And I like to just, figure stuff out. And I really like to trust the spirit within. I really do. So anyway, I'm on the road, and the snow is coming at you like horizontally. It's snowing like that. And you can't see a thing. I've never sat in the front seat of a car when it's in that experience. But I do remember being a kid saying to my dad, oh, this is so great. He'd say, yeah. Trying to just shut us up so we could focus on the road. And in Ukraine, I have this wonderful driver named Slavik, and he would just do anything for me, including drive in the snow for hours to take me to teach a class and then drive back in the dark for half the price of any other taxi. I have a life full of angels. So Slavik's driving. I usually sit in the back on the way home because I like to nap, and the snow is coming in, and I go, Slavik, это как хорошо видеть, сколько скучно, как я скучаю вот это снег, видеть это, вот так. And he says, mm-hmm. So last night, I understood that. I understood what that felt like. That's like, just take out everything that's not necessary and be here now. I mean, it was a perfect magic moment. We have them all day long. I could have cursed the snow. I know how to do that. I used to in another life. I was a painter at some time, and I cursed a lot in that period of time. But, then I was saved by science of mind, and now I don't curse, except in all the holy ways. Oh, God, love you. So, anyway, I could have cursed the snow, but I didn't. Because I knew that I love the snow. And that I trust God, and even though I seem like I'm the only person on this very long stretch of strange road, I'll be fine. Even though I couldn't see the little dotted line. No, it's not dots, it's little dashes. And I tried the left border, because it was yellow and I could see it for a little while longer, but then it went away and I couldn't see it. And it was too close to the shoulder, so I moved to the right side. And that was a little clearer, but not for very long, and then it was scary. And those moments in your life where something has got your attention, something that's important, a change, a shift. you're being asked to be more than you were 10 minutes ago or in your life up until now. Something wants to be born in you. The dream is trying to shake you awake, and it's asking you to pay attention to where you are. And what we do is we go, well, let's see, over here. Let's see, there's this little road. No, I'm going to be over here. And we busy ourselves with all these other things until we can't do that anymore because they were all taken away. That's like the hero's journey, isn't it? You know, you set out, you've got a horse, you've got saddlebags full of food, you've got stalwart friends with their swords, and one by one, all of those things fall away. And there you are, by yourself, on the journey. And that's the spiritual journey. And so one thing I know is that we have a dream inside of us. Every one of us has something that we say, gosh, I wished I'd have done that. Or, you know, I really would love to write books. Or, I'd love to sing. Whatever. In fact, I did a little stint from Colfax to almost to Elko, singing with Adele, really thinking that I could. It was great. I had a blast. I didn't have to, worry anybody. So as this snow was coming at me, I realized I really needed to slow down. So when life is coming at you and you really can't see what it's about, but you know you're headed in this, you're moving, and you're going somewhere on purpose, it's your choice, so that's right, and life is giving you this, and you go, in our old life, we'd say, no, that's wrong. But now we know that God's all there is. Well, that's what we learn here. There's only one thing, and that thing is God, and that thing is perfect, and that's my thing too. In fact, I am that thing. So the snow is here for me. What for? So I figured, slow down. So I did. And then I realized that there were a few truckers on this deserted road, and if I waited slowly, inching along while there was still a little bit of road, one of them would come along and I could tuck in back and follow the trucker. And isn't that just how it works in our life too? Who's demonstrating some kind of mastery in an area that you'd really like to step into? Where do you see it evident out there in the world? Like when Rick introduced the creek, Otter Creek. Yes, otters. When Rick introduced the Otter Creek, you could feel that, couldn't you? You could feel him identifying with something in their life that he aspires to, right? Right. I felt it. They must have felt honored by it, to be seen as they truly are. And for Rick, it deepened the affirmation of who he really is. And so one little introduction can change your life. That's how it works. It's not any bolt of lightning that sets you on the right path. It's those little details. It's those little moments that are full of magic that if we have the wherewithal to grab those moments, to be present with them, and to slow down enough to incorporate them into our life, to really recognize that this is a gift for me, then Dr. Kathy Hearn calls it going slow to go fast. I just love that phrase. We have to slow down so that we go in the direction we want. Somehow, by going slowly, we get there faster. Just think about that. That's how it works. When we are conscious in those moments to use them well, eureka. That's how it works. Something happens. Something you didn't plan comes along, and it's a snowstorm, or it's an apple falls on your head, or whatever it is. A book jumps off the bookshelf. Or somebody calls you and says, I just want to make sure you know how much I care about you. I've so appreciated what you did. Or, I really want to say that when you said that, my feelings got hurt, and I love you so much, I don't want to have this between us. Those are the moments out of which our dream comes alive. And when we can awaken to the present moment, it naturally starts waking up the dream. And the magic, really, or the likarstva, what's the word in English? The potion, the part of the potion that makes it all work is when you know that you and God are one thing. When we know that the living Spirit, that God lives through me, when we know that, it's actually even more than God lives through me. That even has got duality in it. Jesus said, I and the Father are one. So, this year, this month, we celebrate all around the world either the literal or the figurative birth of Christ. And we are going to do that too. We're going to have a beautiful Christmas morning at 11 o'clock ceremony, which involves children, if you would like them to be involved, with amazing music and a message about a story of awakening. That is our story. It's a story of our humanity. We are just like the microcosm of the whole big shift in consciousness that's happening across the planet, whether it looks like hell or not. Because right now we have a lot of division and a lot of divisiveness, right? And it's so seductive to complain. And it's so easy to fall into, yeah, boy, now what is he going to say? Or what is going to happen next? It's so easy to go there, but I almost heard this word, now brethren and sistren. It's like, who said that? I've never even used that word. Oh well, dear ones. There is something for us to do, and it's not to identify with the problem. That's not our job. There's plenty of people attending to that. So we can let them have that part until we are so bright in our part that they start dropping that part too. Because that's what's happening. That's truly what's happening. Where we put our attention is what is born. We are moving into a phase of life that's pure consciousness, where we direct the conscious evolution of our society. It's what we're doing right now as we pray. We do spiritual mind treatment. We change the consciousness that we have about anything in our life until it is no thing at all, it's only God. And when it's only God, you don't need to fret about it anymore. You don't have to figure out how to manipulate them to do that so you can do what you want. You don't have to figure out how to be rich enough to do the thing that you want. You don't have to wish you had more education or that you were younger or taller or thinner or older or anything anymore. You don't have to do any of that. It's not even relative. All you have to do is keep practicing that God is all that I am. And God is all that you are. And God is all that those others are too. The ones we don't like. The neighbors with the barking dog that just will not be quiet. And the moments when I would like to be right in the raising of my grandchildren, but I can't be. Although I try, but I've seriously, on this last visit, I've come as close as I ever have so far to being willing to give that up. Because when we forget and we think that we have to control somebody else's sandbox, we are not free. And usually nobody's happy. So take it from me, if you have had enough of that experience in your life, join me. We're going to start a new We're Giving It Up club. Yeah. Mercy. So I have no idea what time it is, but it's probably time, because I just see Lynn came in, blessed be. We gave you a wonderful plug for all the things that are happening here in this community. There's so many a great level of service. Really. And that's you. That's you that are doing that. And did you notice that the holiday season burst into our space this week? Well, it was this morning with the most amazing crew, Kelly and Hugo and Kevin and Christopher and Sue and Jim, and we were all having fun. And there's cranberries and popcorn for stringing, and this is going to be an old-fashioned Christmas. We're going to feel Christmas in our hearts as we remember the joy of being a little kid at getting the present we've always wanted. And the present we're going to get this year, we're going to give to ourselves. We're going to awaken from that sleepy dream and know that we are pure living spirit. That's our gift. And as we do, it starts to heal the world. So, what time is it? Would somebody please tell me? And what time is the service end? 12:30. 12:30, okay. Well, I should know these things. There's some things I like to forget. All right, so I want us to do something together. In the first service, I tried to do something that was really more complicated than I ought to have tried without some practice. But nonetheless, people were weeping and feeling something, and so begging forgiveness for imposing my thing on the amazing amount of order and harmony there is in this service. I'm so delighted to have a partner in Shemaine, because we really can say, this didn't work, let's try it different. And I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for this kind of communication. And I want it with everyone, all the people that I love and care about, and all the ones that I don't. I do. I want to live. I want my life to be the living spirit. I want it. I want to live from I don't even want the word want. I am delighting in this deeper experience of choosing to live as the living spirit. And my greatest desire is for you to experience this too. That's my greatest desire as a minister. Because when you do, everything else becomes simple. Because all we need to do is remember and trust. And then life gives it to us. We don't have to finagle it anymore. Thank you. So just be in the silence as the musicians come and we prepare to do our offering, and just feel what you feel and know what you know. And let this be a magical moment where you are willing to let it go. And let God be the source, the truth, the reality of who we all are. And you can call it life, you can call it nature, you can call it any word you want. Doesn't matter. And so we give thanks for this experience, for remembering the call that is embedded into every cell of our body, to be that one life and to reflect all of its mystery and magic and wonder into all that we do. So that if we fall on our face and we make a mistake, all we have to do is get up and say, didn't do that so well. Sorry. Let me try again. And off we go into the next moment and the next moment, which awaits us completely full of light. This light is so present. It's in every breath. If you knew how amazing it was, you'd never sleep. You'd want to just be awake breathing it. Because it's life. And it's light, and it's all the goodness of all the thing that is life. And it's in me, and it's in you, and we're sharing it constantly. And we're breathing in the breath of Muhammad and of Christ. It's the same breath. And it's filled with the same presence. It's never changed. That presence is changeless. And it's given its gift to us as we are born in it and from it and for it. We are it. It is us. And that is all that we need to know. And we come here to practice. Thank God that we have a place to come and remember and to be loved and supported by teachings, by people, by friends, by practitioners. There's teams to volunteer on. We have so much fun together. Oh my God, this life is something. I am willing to get over the barrier in my life so I can live in this state of grace all the time. That is my choice. I want to forgive myself and forgive others and beg forgiveness and just be free to live in this light that is right here for me and all of us, no matter what. We don't need to deserve it because we are it. So thank you for everything that's happened this day, for this precious moment, and for this amazing life as we prepare our gift. So, take your gift, the one that's physically in your hand, your cash, your check. Put your hand on your heart if you've given already online. If today you don't believe you have something to give, know that that tain't so. Tain't so. As Reverend Linda said, you are the gift. So be the gift. And let this center grow and prosper with the gifts we give to each other and back to Spirit through the Center for Spiritual Living, Salt Lake City, that it prospers so that it can prosper us to continue this amazing journey called life. It does not get better than this. This is it. Life is ours to give and receive. So I let it be. I let it be, and I be awake. I be awake, and I say, thank you, life. So it is.
I am so blessed.